I walked up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. How many floors is in the Leaning Tower? How many floors in Leaning Tower of Pisa? 8? There's only 8 floors in the Pizza Tower? That's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. This is your landmark, Italy? This is the best you got? 8 inches? Look how stupid it looks. What a dumbass tower. What's the point? What's the point of this? Why'd they make it sideways? Like, did they just start building it at an angle and they just were like, like me when I'm screwing in a nail and the nail starts going at an angle and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm too lazy to fix this. I'm too lazy to fix this shit. Did they just straight up not care? Maybe they knew it would get attention. It started leaning after it was built. Oh my god, it all makes sense. Because all of the people... Oh no, I get it. I understand. You know all the people that take the pictures of them pushing the tower? They fucking pushed it so hard that it started leaning. That's what happened. That must have been what happened. It's crazy. I can't believe it. So why don't they stop people from taking those photos? I feel like that's not a good idea. It's dangerous. What if... Okay. Can we just be honest? Let's not... No more trolling. No more trolling. No more fake jokes. No more lies. No more lies. Let's be completely serious right now. From this moment, now. Being 100% serious. And I know I'm kind of laughing a little bit, but I'm being super serious when I say this. I'm not kidding. What if the tower just falls over and falls on someone? Like, what if eventually it just leans a little too much and it just falls over? And just crushes a bunch of people. Like, what if? Like, could that happen? Is that a possibility? Do we think, like, could this just fall over? God, you had years to move. Skill issue.
Long ago.
Wait, they straightened it. So they should call it the Straight Tower of Pisa. Wait, what? I don't understand. I'm completely serious. I'm completely serious. Could the tower potentially fall over? Or no? And if it did fall over, you know like when... You know when something is it's like slowly leaning? And then it just suddenly crashes down and just someone is dead. Do you really think no one thought about this? When you word it like that, it makes me seem really stupid, but... I just mean, like... I'm just saying, okay. What if an earthquake happened? Would it fall over? Watch the video.
Nice, very nice.
Some bullshit.
Upwards of 1 to 2 million years ago, a river in the central part of what's now Italy emptied into what's now the Ligurian Sea. It still does, by the way, but it did back then too. As the sea rose and fell from the tides, and the river moved sediment.
It's not the building. Yeah, I understand. I understand why the tower is bent. I understand why the Leaning Tower of Pisa is bent. It's not because the tower is like... It's not like this shape. Like, it's not shaped like this. There's no curve to the tower. It's that the tower is going like it's sinking, so it's tilting. So it's like this, not like this. Do you understand? He fixes it? Who fixes it? Oh, Superman fixed it. Oh. Like, it looks like it's gonna fall over. It just looks like it's gonna fall over. Is this not a safety hazard? It's natural. Some of them have a curve. Okay. Old movies are just make no sense. Oh, hello, Aaron Thornwick. Oh, Aaron Thornwick. Hello. Why did you do that? Ruin the tourism, fuck the economy, millions in poverty. What the hell? What the? Ah, Superman!
I mean, downstream.
Okay, but I'm just saying, when you look at it, are you sure that it won't just fall over? Is it possible? Is it ever possible that it falls over? Or is it impossible? Is it, like, there's no way. What if we built the Leaning Tower of Pisa even taller? What if we went and we built more on top of it? Do you think we could do that? We could make it bigger? What if, now hear me out. There's an equation. I don't know what that equation is. There is a moment. There is a moment with this tower. At some point, the current tower looks like this, okay? Or whatever. The current tower looks like this. If we keep building on top of it, and building on top of it, and building on top of it, there is a point when it just fucking falls. Right? There's a moment. So what if we just keep building on top of it to see when that moment is? Like, what if we test the limits of science and, like, human ingenuity? Why do I want it to fall? Wouldn't it kind of be, like, crazy? Like, the Leaning Tower of Pisa fell over? Like, what an insane moment in history. The tower that was leaning, it leaned too hard. It got a little too hypey, and it crashed. What if we keep building, but we make it an arch? That's crazy. Like Notre Dame burning down. That was crazy. Whose idea was that anyway? Who thought of that? Who thought of burning that down?
Silt and soil were deposited across the landscape. In one little spot, in what's now the city of Pisa,
Me when I see smokers. You're destroying your lungs. Stop that.
that river deposited
his cigarette. Bro, how does he ever financially recover from this? How many times over did he have to declare bankruptcy? Imagine being the guy that burned the fucking Notre Dame down. That's crazy. Archers are constantly arches are constantly falling. Kaze cries every day.
A little bit more sand to the north and a little bit more clay to the south. And no one knew or cared until around the year 1173, when construction of a bell tower, or campanile, for the nearby cathedral began.
Oh, they fucked up. They built it, instead of building it all on the gray or all on the brine, they built it on the gray brine, which meant that it was, part of it was gray and part of it was brine, which meant that it was not good.
Yeah,
I understand.
You know the rest of the story. For whatever reason, we humans love
I know the rest of the story.
stuff like the Leaning Tower. There's just something special about a massive structure that looks like it's about to fall.
You think they would just see the gray and the brown. True. Why didn't they look at the ground and go, nah, bro, this shit's fucked? They was it already leaning while they were building it, or was it unleaning and then it started leaning after they built it? Like, what happened? Was it always leaning, or was it not always leaning?
All over. But you might not know that it almost did.
See, I told you. You laughed at me. You made fun of me. Everyone is like, do you think they didn't think about this? You think they didn't think that it might fall over? You think they aren't aware that it might fall over? And it was going to fall over.
Roughly 6 centuries from when it was built to modern times, that iconic tilt continued to increase to a point in 1990 when the tower was closed to the public for fear that it was near collapse. The Italian government appointed a committee of engineers, architects, and experts in historical restoration to decide how to fix the structure.
They support it now? That's cringe. They should just leave it. Like, they should have just let nature take its course. Why do humans have to interfere in everything? Let nature happen. Let nature take its course.
Or at least for the next several centuries, we hope. And the way they did it is really pretty cool if you're into recreational geology and heavy construction. And who isn't? I'm Grady, and this is Practical Engineering. Today, we're talking about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Five and a half degrees. That was the average tilt of the tower in 1990 when all this got started. I have to say average because the tilt isn't the same all the way up. And actually, that fact makes it possible to track the history of the lean back before it was being monitored.
Oh.
The tower started...
Wait, sorry, someone said it was leaning while they built it. Then why'd they keep building it, bro? Why did they keep building it? If it was already leaning, what's their freaking problem? Was a slight lean? Maybe they should have just said, you know what, guys? We fucked up. Like when I accidentally got the nails wrong in the wall. You know what I did? I did the mature thing. And I picked 2 different holes to screw into. I did the mature thing. Why didn't they make the mature decision to just move and do another place? It doesn't make sense.
Construction in 1173 and reached about a third of its total height by 1178, when work was interrupted by medieval battles with neighboring states.
Why? Why were they doing that? Why were they fighting?
Nearly a century later, the tower was already tilting. But the masons didn't tear it down and start over. They just made one side taller than the other to bring the structure back into plumb. By 1278, the tower had reached the 7th cornice, the top of the main structure minus the belfry, when work was interrupted.
Why are they so stupid? Would they built it with a curve? Why are they so stupid? That's not how science works. I swear, old people are so idiots.
The belfry was finally built, and again, with a relative tilt to the rest of the structure to correct for the continued lean. On the south side of the belfry, there are 6 stairs down to the main tower. On the north side, only 4. The result of all this compensation by the builder...
You can see the curve. It's like a banana. It's like a freaking banana. No way. Or something else with a slight curve to it.
Builders is that the Leaning Tower of Pisa is actually curved. Knowing the timeline of construction and how the tilt varies over the height of the structure allowed historians to estimate how much sinking and settling the foundation underwent over time.
What if I did it? What if we did a rating? I would say aesthetically, it's really very, very nice aesthetically. Very nice. Slight curve to it. That's cool. I'm a big fan of the slight curve. Head could be a little bit, kind of weird that the body is like so thick and the head is a little tiny little thing. That's kind of weird, kind of uncanny. I don't know if it's meant to look like that. That's a little bit strange. I don't like that. I don't like that too much.
Is actually
well groomed. That's a plus. I like that we can see a little bit of like the rest of the place behind it. I like good photo, nice photo. Good lighting, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. I'd say maybe like a 7. Maybe like a 7 out of 10. I'd say 7 out of 10 for the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Curved. Knowing the timeline of construction and how the tilt varies over the height of the structure allowed historians to estimate how much sinking and settling the foundation underwent over time. By 1817, when the first recorded measurement was taken, the inclination of the tower was about 4.9 degrees, and it just kept going.
Sorry.
The new committee charged with investigating the issue first spent a lot of their time simply characterizing the situation. They drilled boreholes and tested the soil. They estimated stability using simple hand calculations. They built a scale model of the tower and tested how far it could lean before it toppled. They developed computer models of the tower
It's no
and
fun
its
if you can't
foundation to
climb
see
it.
how different
I
soil
did climb it.
characteristics would
So
affect
I
its
just want everyone in the world to know that I've been here. That's right. I've been right here. I've been standing here. I've been here. I've been there. I've done it. I've seen it. I've seen the Tower of Pisa with my own eyes. My own eyes. I came, I saw, I leaned. That's right. Wait, I have another question about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So, let's say we get a bunch of people into the tower. Some arbitrary number. Let's say 100. And the 100 people that we get into the tower, they only stand on this side of the tower. They only stand, 100 Americans, all of them stand on this side of the tower. And nobody stands on this side. Would the tower fall over and would everyone die? This is my question to you. Obviously. And jump at the same time? Yes, and they also jump as well. Maybe, yes. Okay, second question. What if they got 100 Americans and they all went on this side of the tower and they did jumping jacks for an hour and a half? Would that tilt it back into place? What if they all did jumping jacks? Like that. It would still break? What? How can a tower that can't support 100 people is no tower to me?
The result of all this
They should call it the leaning letdown of Pizza.
compensation by the builders is that the Leaning Tower of Pisa is actually curved. Knowing the timeline of construction,
Oh, wait, I think I went back in the
and tested
thing.
this tower and tested how far it could lean before it toppled. They developed computer models of the tower and its foundation.
Daughter. Look at my background. I have background stuff. Anyway, back to the video.
To see how different soil characteristics would affect its stability. All of those analyses and various engineering investigations all pointed toward the same result. The tower was very near to collapse. In 1993, one researcher estimated the factor of safety to be 1.07, meaning generally that the underlying soil could withstand a mere 7%
No
more
more
weight than the
holes,
tower was imposing
except
on.
this
There was
one.
basically no margin left
This
to
one.
let the tower continue its lean. A similar tower in Pavia had collapsed in 1989, and the committee knew they needed to act quickly. To start, they installed a modern monitoring system that could better track any movement over time, including surveying benchmarks and inclinometers. I have a video all about this type of instrumentation if you want to learn more after this. The committee also opted to take immediate, temporary measures to stabilize the tower with something that could eventually be removed before developing a permanent fix. They built a concrete ring around the base of the tower and gradually placed lead ingots, about 600 tons in total, on the north side to act as a counterweight to the overhanging
I
structure.
told you, this is what I said they should do.
As they added each layer of counterweights, they monitored the tilt of the tower. It was ugly, but it worked. For the
What if they did this, but instead of putting it here, they put it here, and they just made the tower fall over. I don't know why. It would have been so crazy.
counterweights, they monitored the tilt of the tower.
Whatever.
It was ugly, but it worked. For the first time in history, the tower was moving in the right direction. A few months after they finished the project, the tower settled into a tilt that was about 48 arcseconds, or 1/100th of a degree less than before. In fact, it worked so well, the committee decided to take it one step further. To reduce the visual impact of all those lead weights, they proposed to replace them with 10 deep anchors that would pull the northern side of the tower downward to the ground like huge rubber bands. This fix didn't go quite so smoothly. The engineers had assumed that the walkway around the base of the
This
tower,
just seems
called the
stupid.
Catino,
Yeah, this is a good idea. This is stupid. Smart, stupid. Smart, stupid. Smart, stupid. What a stupid idea. What if we just dug underground and tried to pull the tower? Like, come on. Are you dumb? Who would think to try this? What a bunch of Italians.
Northern side of the tower downward to the ground
Sorry
like
for the
huge
sword.
rubber bands.
I
This fix didn't go quite so smoothly. The engineers had assumed that the walkway around the base of the tower, called the catino, was structurally separate from the tower. But what they found during construction of the anchor solution was that some of the tower was resting on the catino. The project required removal of part of the catino to make room for a concrete block, and when they did, the tower started tilting again. This
Oh
time in
my
the wrong
god, they
direction.
made it worse. They made it worse. They tried to fix it and they made it worse. What a bunch of freaking clowns. This is the anarchy. This is what we needed. Anarchy.
Fast, about 4 arc seconds per day, enough for serious concern that the tower might collapse. They quickly abandoned the anchoring plan and added
Yeah, stick to
350
making
more
sports
tons of lead
cars.
weights to stop the movement and focus on a permanent solution. Engineering any solution to a structure of this scale with such a severe tilt is a challenge in the best circumstances, but adding on the fact that the solution had to maintain the historical appearance of the building, including leaving the right amount of lean, made it even tougher. And after the near disaster
Oh
of the
yeah,
temporary
because
fix,
the problem is they can't just fix it. They have to make sure that it stays leaning. That's the real challenge. They needed to stay leaning the whole... They're not allowed to unlean it. It has to stay leaning for tourism.
the committee knew they would have to be extremely diligent. They ultimately came up with 3 ideas to save the tower. The first one was to pump groundwater from the sand below the north side of the tower, but they didn't feel confident that they could predict how the structure would respond over the long term. Another idea was electroosmosis. If you've seen some of my other videos about
Osmosis
settlement,
Jones.
you know that it's hard to get water out of clay. And there are quite a few clever ways engineers use to make
I
it
saw
happen
this
fast.
movie.
One of those ways involves inserting electrodes into the soil and passing electric current through it. Clay particles have a negative surface charge.
That
so
doesn't
the
make any
majority
sense.
of the
Okay, this makes no sense. Lightning, electric type it doesn't affect ground. This makes no sense.
Ions in the water
This doesn't work.
The particles are positively charged. Electroosmotic consolidation takes advantage of this by applying a voltage across the soil, causing the water to migrate toward the cathode, where it can be pumped
It's
to the
moist.
surface.
Look, Swampert is a water ground type, but that doesn't mean you can hit him with Thunderbolt, bro.
The idea seemed promising because by carefully choosing the location of electrodes, engineers hoped they could selectively consolidate the clay below the north side of the tower, reducing its overall tilt. They even performed a large-scale field test near the tower to shake out some of the kinks and gather data on the effectiveness of the technique.
Right.
But it didn't work at all. Turns out the soil was too conductive, so things like electrolysis, corrosion,
No, I think that he means not conductive at all. He misspoke.
heat, and all the other effects of mixing electricity and saturated soil made the process pretty much useless for this particular case. So the
Told you,
committee was down to
useless. I
one
told you it
last
wasn't gonna
idea:
work.
under excavation. If they couldn't get the soil below the tower to consolidate, they could just take some out. And again, they would need to test it out first. So in 1995, they built a large concrete footing on the piazza grounds not far from the tower. Then they used incline drills to bore underneath the footing and gradually remove some of the underlying soil. Guide tubes kept the boring in the right direction, and a hollow stem auger inside 2 casings was advanced below the footing. The outer casing stayed in place, while the inner casing moved with the auger. The auger and the
I don't
inner
know why
casing
they
were
didn't
advanced
ask.
past the outer casing to
I would've
create a
told them.
void. And when they were retracted, the cavity would gently close. At first, it wasn't looking good. After an initial tilt in the right direction, the test footing started leaning the wrong way. But the crew continued refining the process and eventually got it to work, even finding it was possible to steer the movements by changing the sequence of under excavation. It was finally time to try it on the real thing. Knowing the risks and uncertainties involved, the engineers first designed a safeguard system for the tower if things started to go awry.
A bunch of
Cable
ropes.
stakes were attached between the tower and anchoring frames. The cables could each be tightened.
What's that gonna do? Are you kidding me? You're gonna put a bunch of ropes on a tower? That shit is not holding this tower. This tower is no shot. What do they think this is? This is such a dumb
individually,
idea.
giving the engineers opportunity to stop movement in any undesirable direction if the drilling didn't go as planned. In 1999, they started a preliminary trial with 12 holes, and the plan went perfectly. Over the course of 5 months, the under excavation brought the tilt up by 90 arc seconds, and after a few more months, it settled in at 130 arc seconds, about 0.04 of a degree. This gave the committee confidence to move on to the final plan. Starting in 2000, 41 holes were drilled to slowly tilt the tower upright. Over the course of a year, 38 cubic meters of soil were removed from below the tower, roughly 70 tons. The lead counterweights were removed, a drainage system was installed to control the fluctuating groundwater levels that exacerbated the tilt, and the tower was structurally attached to the catino, increasing the effective area of the foundation. In the end, the project had reduced the tilt of the tower by about half a degree, in effect, reversing time to the early 1800s when its likelihood of toppling was much lower. Of course, they didn't straighten it all the way.
Yeah, what do you, because here's what I'm thinking now. Here's my next thing, okay? Here, let me just show you this. Let me just explain to you. Here's what I'm seeing. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm seeing here. This is the problem. Now, they should have consulted me because I would have explained this problem to them. But here's the earth, okay? Here's the grind, here's the earth. And here's the leaning pizza tower, okay? Here's the leaning pizza tower. Now, here's what I'm seeing is the problem. They're digging under here to straighten this thing out. So maybe that works, okay? Maybe that works. Maybe that works. Let's say that works. And it tilts back. But look what's happening. And here's what's going to happen. Look at the grind. Look at the grind. That's right. That's right. That's right. They didn't predict this, but I predicted it. I foresaw it. I foresaw exactly what would occur here. Look. They sunk their own tower. It's sunk in now. As they try to correct the lean, the tower will sink. And now the tower will be underground. And eventually, as they continue this process, over and over and over, eventually, you know what's going to happen? Eventually, this is going to be your Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is going to be your tower. Correct me if I'm wrong. Proceeds to be entirely wrong from the start. Okay. You don't understand.
Isn't just
I'm
a
right.
Fascinating oddity. It's
I'm right.
integral to the history.
Look at it. Look. It looks like it's already going underground. Eventually, it's gonna get so deep into the ground that you won't even be able to use the door.
In effect, reversing time to the early 1800s when its likelihood of toppling was much lower. Of course, they didn't straighten it all the way. The lean isn't just a fascinating oddity, it's integral to the historical character of the tower. It's a big part of why we care. Tilting's in the Campanile's DNA, and in that way, the stabilization project was just a continuation of an 850-year-old process. Unlike the millions of photos with tourists pretending to hold the tower up, the contractors, restoration experts, and engineers actually did it. For the next few centuries.
Evil tourists be like, I'm not taking a photo of me holding it up. I'm going to take a photo of me pushing it down.
The logistics of the operation to fix the Leaning Tower are really the most fascinating part of the whole project. This idea of incline drilling to carefully remove soil with so much precision is an insider story at its core. On the surface, it's not really that interesting, but if you dig deeper, you see how ingenious it really was.
It's not interesting.
I love those kinds of stories, and I figure you probably do too. So
Place city skylines, see how well I can make a city.
These videos are put together by the same team as the Windover Productions YouTube channel, and they're so good. Just deep dives into various industries that would otherwise seem uninteresting if you didn't get to peek behind the curtain and see how they really work. I had no idea that so much of the U.S. coal supply comes from a single county.
There'll be cars, there'll be transit,
all my favorite TV
there'll be
networks are just
water,
running reality
there'll be
shows,
skyscrapers.
and even high-budget
Ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe.
Just don't go deep enough.
You won't believe
Almost everything
the
I watch now is being made
skyscrapers.
by independent creators.
The
like
jobs.
Brian from Real Engineering.
You wouldn't
Sam
believe the
from
job.
Windover,
If I told
Scotty
you,
from Strange
if I
Parts
told
and
you the
Heads.
jobs, you wouldn't believe
Sam
them.
series, The Logistics of X, along
Just
with
the
a
other
lot
day,
more
I got off the
excellent
phone.
content, is only
I got off the
available
phone
on
with my
Nebula,
job
streaming
guy, and he was
platform
like,
buy
"I have
for
never seen
independent
so many
educational
jobs
creators,
in
including
a
me.
city before.
Nebula is
I've never
basically
seen
the answer
so
to the
many
question of
jobs
what could happen if
and
the best channels on
such
YouTube didn't
cheap
have to cater to an
apartments,
algorithm.
such
It's just a
cheap
different model
homes,
that
and
changes the
homes are
incentives
living
and
there,
rewards, and it's come so far.
and
It's totally
families,
ad-free with
and
tons
they
of
can
excellent
they have
educational
yards.
channels
The
and
families
lots of
have
original
yards,
series and specials that just
and
wouldn't see the light of day
it's
if they were produced
beautiful,
for
and
YouTube,
there's
where you
trees.
have to optimize for
And
clickability.
why did she not pause the video? Whatever. Sometimes I just get distracted. I have 1 hour of sleep and ADHD. And I have depression. So you're being extraordinarily unfair to me right now. I hope you understand that I have so many conditions. Let me tell you, I have the most of any person I've ever met. They always say to me, "Oh, I have this condition, I have this condition, I have the." Nobody. Let me tell you, nobody has as many conditions as I have. Nobody has as many as me. And they're the biggest conditions you've ever seen. The biggest you've ever seen. Just the other day. I don't fucking know. Anyway, that's my Trump. That's my Trump mental illness. And paranoid. I'm not paranoid. I'm not paranoid. But when I was walking with the power out, I'm not gonna lie, there was this group of people, and this guy was on his phone, and I swear to God, he was on his phone. I was walking, and he saw me, and he picked his phone up, and he was staring at me like this on his phone. I'm so serious right now. And it's not the first time that's happened. And I'm starting to suspect that there was no raccoon at all. But actually, it was a CIA plant in order to get me out of my apartment so they could track me. I have a theory. I have a theory. Man, she's so pretty, woman. That's my theory. That's my theory, at least. So, we'll see. What is this game called? Cities Skylines? Cities. Is that it's $70? You're trolling right now. You're actually trolling right now. If you think I'm spending $70 on a meme game. This is like fucking Ferris wheel simulator, theme park simulator 2012. Anyone remember that game? That game is free. That's a free game. The theme park simulator where you build the rides. That one, yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Mixed reviews. Nobody even likes this game. I tell you what. Ferris wheel simulator. I don't know what the fuck it's called. I'm sorry. I'll tell you what. I will play this game, but I will not buy this game. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I will not buy. Yeah, if chat buys me this game, I will play it. My ass is not buying this game. Period. But I will stream it. Cities Skylines 2. This game. You'll buy me RimWorld if I play that. I'm not rimming anyone on stream. I'm not doing a rim, no. Not a rim job on stream. Build a better pizza tower. The first thing I will do is build 3 pizza towers. And none of them will be banned. That's all. Is this gonna be way too much of a learning curve? How much am I gonna have to put into this game to learn how to play it? Like, do I have to like actually learn stuff? Are you gonna yell at me the whole time? Chat, are you gonna yell at me while I build this? It's a massive learning curve. Oh my god. Okay. That's the fun. You yell at me even when I play right? Okay. Alright. Okay. I'll do it if I won't buy it though. Just straight up telling you right now. My ass is not buying. Pizza box tower. What do we even do? What's the point of the game? Just to build a city? Just to prove that you could do it? Do you think that actual architects practice how to build real skyscrapers with city skylines too? There's like disasters and stuff. Why? What country is this? Oh, guess what, by the way? I don't know if everyone saw this, but this piece of thread looks like a sperm cell. I just, I keep it around for good luck, but it's a little piece of thread. But it kind of looks like a sperm cell. So I just have it sitting here. Might as well name it. Okay, it's your dad. Owned. Owned. You're so owned. You're so owned right now. All countries have disasters. Name one. Name one disaster that happened in Canada. Name one. I'll wait. Wildfires? That's not a disaster. Winter? That's not a disaster. Winter happens every year. Wildfires happen every year. They're just part of the world. Oil spills just happen naturally every year. They're just normal. You don't go... Name 1 year without an oil spill. It's just part of the circle of life. Wildfires happen when it gets hot. It's not weird. It's like saying, like, oh my god, when it gets cold in winter, like the leaves die on the trees. Yeah, that's what happens. The leaves die on the trees when it gets cold, and the leaves burn off when it gets hot. It, like, I don't understand. It just makes sense. Oil is dinosaur sludge. Yeah. It's just Gudra. Pokemon reference. The French? Okay. That is a disaster. Now, I will admit that is... Okay. Okay. I'll give you that one. Name 2. Actually, name more than... You know what? Here, okay, let's stop trolling. Let me just stop trolling right now. Wildfires, yes. I will grant you that wildfires are a disaster. When was the last time a wildfire happened? I haven't seen a wildfire in months. In months. I haven't seen one. Like last year. It's months. I haven't seen one in forever. It's winter? Yeah. Because they can only happen like 1 week of the year. There's like only 1 week of the year that a fire can even happen. So it's like... what other natural disasters are there? Floods? When is the last time you saw a flood? When's the last time? What is it? Hurricanes? When is the last time we saw? I haven't seen a hurricane ever in my life. I've never seen one. Never. Never been. I mean, me personally. I don't mean like I haven't seen that. You know, not saying that I've never heard of a hurricane. Just I've never seen one. So like where I live, there's like one natural disaster a year. At most. At most, one natural disaster. Am I going to be playing City Skylines and there's going to be one natural disaster in a year of playing the game? Doubt it. Doubt it. Is California on fire? Yes. What? How is California on fire? It's winter. That doesn't make sense. Who verified this? Where's the fact checkers? None here ever? It's just always yes? Yeah, that's not real. That's fake. It's not actually on fire. If I go to Google Street View right now and I look at California, I'm not going to see fire. I'm just telling you right now. That's Diablo, though. That's not... That's Diablo. Because of y'all? Because of... What did I do? What did I do? Hello? What the? Have you seen the curvature of the Earth? The Earth is curved. It's so easy to tell that it's curved. They knew the Earth was curved in 4000 BC. They knew it was curved. From day one, we've been known that this world was curved. It's old history. It's settled science. Don't get swept away in trying to troll too hard. Once you troll this much, it gets unbelievable. It's not believable anymore. So, that's all. That's all I'm gonna say. What about the firmament? The what now? The firmament. The heavens or the sky. In biblical cosmology, the firmament is the vast solid dome. Dome. I'm so dome-pilled. Wow. During the Genesis creation of the earth. This is... What the hell? What the hell? What a bunch of idiots. Sheol. if God, if the devil is a woman because her pronouns are she. Please laugh. Pillars of the earth, fountains of the deep. What's with the little lines here? Where's the ocean in all of this? Thoughts on the ocean? Is this the ocean? The ocean's this big circle? No, Germnas say der Teufel. What the? What the? The devil is... No, that's not true. How could he be? I mean, she. Please. They're gonna fucking cancel me. Oh my god, first fucking... Oh, whoever the Flash fucking act they is. First that one. And now this. It's fucking over for me. You think the Bible meant it as the radiation Van Allen belts? What the hell? El Diablo, also male. Okay, but El Gato is cat. And, some cats are girls. So, yeah. Nice try. But, I got you figured out. It's so orange. Does anyone notice how orange it is right now? It's like... I swear to God, Breaking Bad moment right now. Yeah, explain Diablo. Why can't I find just a picture of Diablo's model? If the devil is a man, what are these? Owned. That's right. Owned. They're boobs. They are literally boobs. Diablo 3 has boobs. I'm not kidding. Diablo 3 straight up has boobs. Diablo is a woman in the third game. Or at least... Actually, now that I think about it, I think Diablo is a trans man in Diablo 3. The more I think about it. Diablo's like a guy. It's kind of a trans allegory when you think about it. Holy shit, I didn't think about this until now, but it all makes sense. It's like a trans allegory. Holy moly. Holy... Yeah, guy trapped in a woman's body, yeah. No way. It's like the Matrix. Oh my god.